So like I said, we're gonna go over smart campaigns a bit more in depth today. We did the account setup, and the important part before we go into this is in your account setup, we had set our email signature, if you remember that, and you could simply just copy and paste your old email signature, which will benefit here, because now, if you're on your Max Tech here, under marketing and smart campaigns, this is where we're gonna spend all our time today. So, smart campaigns, what are they? What do they do? How do we find them? How do we make them? How do we change them? So smart campaigns are basically drip campaigns, emails, texts. They can prompt you to take action, or they can do action on your behalf, okay? You can set them. One of the main ones you may have seen by now is the default new lead buyer, okay? I'm in my company admin account here, so you can see these are all company-wide ones that are activated. You can choose to activate them or not. But the new lead buyer, this is one, if you get a lead that comes in that's a buyer, it automatically puts them on this. So you can see just a brief overview of this one. Immediately it gives you a task that says, hey, text this person or call this person. All right. 7 minutes after that, the system will automatically send a text. And you can click in here and see it. Hey, thanks for requesting property, information, curious you browsing or just searching, right? Day one, so a day after they're added to the system, send an email. Second day, call them, and it'll also send them a text, etc. And you can see this one goes for about 2 years, okay? Until it moves them into the sphere. So, how can we set these up? How can we change them? So I'll go into my account here because I was on the company scope there. So, you can see under if you're looking at your smart campaigns, you can see something like this. If there are ones that you like, if there's ones that you don't like, you can simply toggle them on or toggle them off on this right hand side, okay? You can read through them, you can see what they do, right? And then going back to this one again, I just want to let you know about a little bit of the logic of this one, because this one I think is the one that most use. This one is designed for when you get a new lead that comes in from REMAX.ca, it automatically puts them on it. It's trying to get them to answer you, okay? Because they say, a new lead, you might take 8 to 10 times to reach out to them before they actually get back to you. So the whole purpose of this specific smart campaign is to try to get them to answer you, okay? And whether they answer you on the first email or on, the 10th email on day 65, once that happens, the system's smart and it knows, okay, this person came in, they were a new lead, right? Came in, we tried to reach them, they answered us. Okay, the system will automatically change them from a new lead to an active lead. And once that happens, this company-based campaign is designed, see, you can say it starts when the status is a new lead. It's designed that once that new lead switches from a new lead to an active lead, it takes them off that. Okay? It no longer needs to try to constantly reach out to them and get them to answer you because they already answered you. So the system assumes, okay, you're in touch, and you can switch them over, right? You can switch them over to the active buyer campaign, which is simply, if you look through your campaigns, the default active buyer is what it would switch it to. This is a weekly check-in. These are just tasks it wants you to do. It assumes you guys are in touch. It assumes you're communicating. It just reminds you once a week, hey, call the guy. Okay? And you can look here. Just a little view of the logic here. It says this one will start when the lead is an active lead. Okay? The previous one said it'll start when it's a new lead. So when a lead comes in and you accept it, it's automatically set as a new lead. Now you can change the system there to say when it's an active lead, it switches over to this. So that's a little bit of how it works to go into that, right? So if you want to edit one of these company campaigns. Say you're going in and you're looking at, okay, the default new lead buyer. I'm just using this one again as the example. And you want to change it. You know, you see a few things here and you say, well, I don't like how this one is worded. Now mine says edit here. If you're looking at it, if you can confirm, yours will just say view. All right, I have an admin account. So what you'll have to do is if you want to edit the default company ones, you're going to have to click the clone campaign button. Okay. You can clone the campaign. You can leave everything as is. Click next, 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 finish. Right? Now if you're under your campaigns, default new lead buyer, copy. See? Now you can see here, this one says it's owned by the user, whereas the one we copied was a company one. So you can go ahead and click activate. You click the toggle there, it'll turn it on, it'll active it. And now yourself, if you click on the copy, you can go in here and you can change the name. Maybe to say, instead of saying copy, you can say my default buyer lead, right? That way you can distinguish it if you're looking in your smart campaigns. But now from here, since you had cloned it and copied it, you know, you're not editing the base one, you're editing your own personal one. So you can go in here now and say, okay, hey, thanks for requesting property on front of our site. Just curious, you actively searching for a property or browsing right now? And you can edit the text. So you could go in and now and say, anything I can do to help, please let me know. You could even go so further, you could change it completely. If it's in your wording, how you want to say something, you can go through and do that. Now you see if you try to click save, it won't let you because you got to provide a template, okay? Because all of the default actions are on a pre-made template. So now you need to go in and you need to just, you're naming a template. You edited it, right? So you can say, something, and it's whatever you want to type it, however you're gonna keep it, and this will be something that'll pop up in the future. So you can say my default new lead intro text, okay? Anything you want like that. You click save, and now it's changed to how you like it, right? And you could also change this. Not only the text, you could go in and change, okay, you know, when do you want to send it? Like this says 7 minutes after the lead has been entered into your system, it'll send them that text, right? But if you're pretty good and you're, well, I always call my leads like the moment I get them. You know, if they answered, if they didn't answer, you called them, you left a voicemail, maybe you can change it to say, okay, maybe instead of doing that, let's send the text, you know, 2 hours after I already reached out and called. Because, you know, I called, I left a voicemail, didn't hear back from them in 2 hours, send them a text, we'll leave it, and then we won't talk to them till the next day. See? So now you can see it changed the timeline. So instead of setting 7 minutes after, it sends 2 hours after. Now you can edit and change all of these pre-types, one exactly just how I did. You see this as buyer first email. Again, if I change anything in here, it's going to remove the template. And maybe I'll change it to my default buyer first email, okay? Because you changed the pre-written one. But you can go through this one and you know, it might be a lot less work for you to, instead of create your own email campaign where you got to enter 20, 30 entries to try to reach out to somebody. Plus, you can go in and you can edit the ones that are already here after we clone the campaign, just like I showed you there in the beginning, because once you clone, if it's a company one, you clone it, and then you can edit it. So you can go in and edit things that way, in that respect. And you could even edit the logic of when this starts, right? So maybe, this one is set to, okay, just a little brief overview of the logic here. The default trigger in here is they have an advanced one. When the status is new on the new lead, on the contact, that's when this campaign will say, oh, new lead, assign it to them, okay? Now you could maybe change it. You could change it to go if the contact is transferred, if there's a hashtag applied, right? So maybe you could say, well, I don't want all of my new leads to be on this one, or I don't want all of the new buyer leads I get to go on this one right away. So you know what? You can remove that trigger, and you can say, instead of when the lead is new, I want this to apply to somebody when the hashtag is. Okay, we had talked about hashtags before. They are a method to sort your contacts, but we also said they power automation. Now this is a way they power automation. It's basically saying, if this, then that. Okay, if the hashtag is, I'm just gonna pull one out and just say new buyer. Okay, hit enter. You can see there, if the hashtag is new buyer, start this campaign, and I'll say yes, I want it to always run. Okay. And you can go next. Yeah, it's designed for buyers. Next, it's under the campaign detail, I'm still calling it my buyer lead, right? And I'll go back here. Go a little slower to explain these parts. So we said, anytime somebody gets the hashtag on their account that says new buyer, or we will add this campaign to them where it'll try to stay in touch with them. Okay, we hit next. Who's it designed for? You can click multiple for this, you can click one, you can click the other. Okay, we can say this campaign is designed for buyers. You might have other campaigns where they're just designed for clients, whether they're a buyer, whether they're a seller, whether they're a renter, okay? And what this says is, say we're creating a campaign and it's generic, right? It's not necessarily for our new buyers, right? Or maybe you have one that is generic, but you only want to send it to your sellers, okay? You can have the campaign still start on a hashtag, so anytime somebody has that hashtag added to them, it'll say, yep, it'll look at them and say, yeah, they have the hashtag, but then it'll also look at them and say, are they a buyer or a seller or a renter? Or are they a seller? Because you could have a buyer with a hashtag that is added and it says, well, they're not a seller, so we won't do it for them. It lets you kind of really bake into who gets what, okay? That's what these things are designed for, but for the purpose of this one, this campaign we are on is designed for buyers, right? So then we hit next. Yes, we had named the campaign. And, here is just in the campaign description, this is all internal. So this isn't something the client sees on their end. This is something saying, okay, system default for buyer leads whose status is new lead, right? This is just explaining. You can type anything you want in this section, and you're just simply saying, what does this campaign do? What's it for? What's the purpose? Next, it'll let you review an ad. So now we can hear the overview here. Yes, it's under my campaign. It runs for agent, which is me. Okay. When does the campaign start? It starts when the hashtag is new buyer. Okay. It's designed for a buyer. Campaign name, yeah, I had renamed it. This is what it does. Always run it, yes. Always run this when the hashtag is new buyer, and you can click finish. So now what this does, this could maybe be something, you call the person, you talk to them, you find out they are a buyer, and then in their contact while you're talking to them, you just apply the hashtag. And now, whatever campaign it is, it'll apply to them. Okay? So that's kind of an overview of the logic used in there. And there are different ways to do it as well. You can also, we'll go over when we add, because I know there's one that says when there's a specific date. So, now we'll look at, what campaigns are available to you. These are all the default ones you have. Or some of these you might not have, because I know there's some recruiting ones in here for mine. But you will have most of these in there if they're a company campaign, and you will see them in your account. Now, if you say, well, I want to look for more campaigns, what other campaigns do they have that I could use if you're not so keen on taking the time to create your own? So at the top here, you can click kvCORE Library, right? And you can look through, right? We got 37 I can see right here, right? And the first one was this, Buyer Nurture 1-Year Campaign. Well, what is that? Okay, I want to click it, I want to look through it. Okay, email, seller first email. Well, what's that say? Hey, thanks for visiting the site. You considering selling your home? More in depth there. Did you get the CMA email, seller second email? Bidding wars are back. So this one looks like it's, maybe it's, the wording's wrong here. Buyer nurture. This one looks like it's a seller nurture. So that's why you read through them, right? So you can look here and you can see, okay, after a year of you contacting, I can see this one saying, hey, did you list it? Just wondering if you sold your house, how'd it go? We've all had that, people you talk to, right? And they end up, either you don't hear from them or you open Matrix and you see, oh, I guess I listed it. But, you at least tried your best because you've been staying in touch with them, right? And we all know that the 1 week or the 2 weeks you say, well, I've been pestering them, maybe I'll just give them a break. And then that's usually when they end up listening with somebody else. So again, the whole reason we're doing any of this is because we're trying to stay in front of the contact, in front of the lead, okay? So say you like this one, right? You can say, okay, yeah, this one I like. I'm going to click Add to my library, okay? Successfully added to your library. I'll go back to my campaigns, and I can see it up here, right? And then the status, I can trigger it, and I can turn it on, yes. Now this one, since I added it, you should be able to go through and edit it, okay? And if you ever open a campaign and it doesn't let you edit it, it's because it's locked. And so what you would do is you would click the Clone Campaign button. It would make a copy, and then you can edit it in that respect, right? So now you can look through here. So we're going to edit this one, right? And say, okay, let's start this one on a hashtag. We look through this. To me, this campaign kind of looks like, okay, how to find motivated sellers, fixture-up mortgages, renting versus buying. So this kind of looks like something if you were talking to a buyer, maybe you had pre-qualified them, right? So you had a conversation. So they might not necessarily be a brand new lead, right? You've talked to them, you've had conversations with them. So we could say, okay, let's start this on a hashtag, because I don't want to start it when the lead's new, because I don't want to start this for every single new lead. This is, I had a qualifying conversation with them, right? So me and my brain, the way that works, I'm going to say, well, I'm going to do it when the hashtag is qualified buyer, okay? Because in my brain, I have them in my contacts already. I'm talking to them. I qualified them. Okay, I'll put the hashtag on their account like I showed you before under their contact. Put qualified buyer. And yeah, I want you to run this for all my qualified buyers. And we'll say, no, it's not designed for all. It's designed just for buyers. Okay. We'll go next. Buyer nurture 1-year campaign, mix of mostly emails with a few text messages, designed again to keep your name in front of long-term buyer prospects, right? That's the default this one is created for. Again, you can have the overview here. It runs for you're the agent, it runs for you. It's when the hashtag is qualified buyer. It's designed for buyers. The overview, okay, let's finish that. And you can see once I edited the logic and I said always run yes, it toggled the campaign active, right? So now, because this looks like it's sending one every week and then tapers off and then after a year. So this would be, again, you had the qualifying conversation with them. I said, yeah, you know, this is somebody who probably will buy a house, right? So now I go into their contact, I apply the hashtag qualified buyer, and again, just to reiterate, under your smart CRM, under your contacts, you go to your contact, hashtag, and you put in the hashtag you want to put in, qualified buyer, hashtag updated, okay? And then after a bit, once the system has had time to sync, I will come back later, probably in 30 minutes to an hour, and I'll see under active campaigns, I will see that one that I just created because I told the system, hey, when the hashtag is added, and all of this, when you're looking at creating smart campaigns, where it's activated off a hashtag, it's not retroactive, okay? So if you already have contacts that have the qualified buyer hashtag, it's not gonna go back to them and put them on. It's gonna say moving forward, any contact that gets this hashtag added to them will be put on this email campaign, okay? That's how it works, just so you know. Just so if you're wondering, well, I had these on there before, it's not retroactive. If you had the hashtag on them before already, you'll have to go through a manually add, click add, grab the campaign, and add it there manually. But any contacts that will have that hashtag on it afterwards will automatically have that campaign put onto their account. So we looked at the company ones, the default ones, how to look through the library, how to use the library, searching them, view them. You can see the ones you like. You know how to edit them. Say maybe you don't like the frequency of this. Again, something as simple as clicking edit. And instead of maybe, I don't like that there's a 20-day gap there, maybe we'll push all of them up. So I'll change it to day 130, right? And so now, okay, I'll probably have to push the other ones up too. Maybe I want it to email them once or twice a week instead of once a week in the beginning and tapering off to once a month after. Maybe I want to stay on them a bit more frequently. So instead of this being a 1-year campaign, maybe it'll be a 6-month campaign because I don't like that, there's a month gap in between each one maybe. Totally up to you, but you have the freedom to do that and you have the freedom to edit it. Okay? And another thing about this here, I'll show you after actually. So now let's go into say, okay, Gord, I don't like any of these campaigns, or I want to make a specific campaign, or I want to make my own. Fair enough. Within the My Campaigns, you have the ability here to add a campaign. Okay? So this is, we're creating one totally from scratch, right? And now you see when we're creating one from scratch, we can say, the first thing it's going to ask is, when is this campaign going to start? Okay, it's not, we'll get into what the campaign is for, what does it do, etc. But the system most importantly wants to know, when does it start? Because again, the thing about this program is it's all automation, right? It's designed so we take the time up front to learn it and set it up so that it can run automatically without us thinking about it later. I just want to be able to add a contact and put a hashtag, yeah, they're qualified, and then know that it'll just start sending emails on its own. I don't have to remember to do it all the time. I can spend my time getting more qualified buyers or sellers there too. So the logic here starts, okay, when the lead is new. And you can see you can select sources here. And, I know one of the sources is REMAX.ca, okay? When you get a lead off REMAX.ca, you could say, hey, start this campaign when the lead is new off REMAX.ca. Or you could say, if it's off of Facebook or any other thing you have synced to your kvCORE, it'll know where the leads come from. You can say, if this lead comes from here and it's new, start it, okay? Oops. You could say, hey, start this when the contact is transferred to me, okay? And this might be useful because, the leads come through if you're getting it transferred from a team member or from somebody or from myself. Because the way these leads are set up, the REMAX.ca leads, you have 15 minutes to click accept, okay? And once you click accept, it's yours. If you don't answer it in the next 15 minutes, it goes to the next person. And I have it designed that after 90 minutes, if nobody's clicked accept, it goes to me, and then I manually assign it, right? And that's just based off where's the lead at, who hasn't had a lead in a bit, okay? I want the lead to be called. I want somebody to get in contact with it. You'll get the next one then, eh?
I lost one last week. It was too late. I'm like,
yep. Yep.
And I don't check my.
And that's why if you guys have remembered, I think this is important, so I'll interrupt it and go through it. If you go on the dashboard when you log in, the black button right up here, download mobile app. Okay? Max Text powered by kvCORE. Text me the iOS link. Text me the Android link. It'll text it to you. You click the link. You download the app, and it's the same. It's the same login. Your Max Center login logs you into the app. You do not search kvCORE in the App Store. It's the wrong one. We have our own.
I lost two because they came at 7 in the morning and I was sleeping.
Yeah, I had one that came at 7 in the morning today, I think, and
Can we get like a text or something? Because
Yeah.
I don't check my email, so I just get it like on my email. It was too late. I was like,
Can you set up an
pissed.
auto accept? Something.
No. No, there's no auto accept there. I know that for sure. The text I'll have to show you because I know that's on your phone. But we'll get into that after. But again, worth interrupting. Make sure you have the app because you get the notification. Like when in your notification center, pops up right there. And that's the quickest way to get it. That'll always be faster than the email or the text because it depends on your carrier there. So, back to where we were. Okay. We're manually creating a campaign. We went over, okay, new lead, or if it's transferred, so if the lead gets transferred to you and you could make a simple smart campaign that has one text, one email, depending on if there's a phone number or an email, saying, hey, my name's Raj, thanks for getting in touch with me, I'll give you a shout as soon as I'm available, right? Something that simple you could do and make. We went over, okay, when the hashtag is, and they also have different ones. If a specific date occurs, you can have a campaign start in that respect, right? You could have a campaign start on a specific date, and you could additionally have another trigger go off that too. So there's a bunch of different ways to do that there, I would say, okay? So let's go through and create one. Okay, let's say, start when the hashtag is for automation purposes. I'm not going to think of one. I'm just going to put when the hashtag is test. Doesn't matter what the hashtag is. It depends what you're using it for. But we'll say we'll start it then. We'll always run it. Yes. Next. And we'll say maybe, okay, this one's designed for buyers and sellers and renters. So let's just say this is designed for clients.
What's trigger? Add trigger.
You can have advanced triggers you can add. If neither of these are specific enough, they have advanced triggers you can go through. And you could say, okay, if it's a form submission, if it's assigned to a lender, if there's an email, if it's a system source, if the status is, maybe if the status changed to prospect, right? If you get a new lead in and you work on them and you talk to them, you know, and they reach out, the system will change it to active lead. And then manually there, if they're an active lead, you can change them to prospect, you can change them to under contract, you can change them to client, right? You know, you might want one that is, okay, you know, I closed this person, right? So it was a seller lead. I had it. I got the listing. I sold it. They're still in my contacts. Let's say I changed their status to closed. Okay? You might want one that goes, and you know, let's do that here, actually. So we'll do, okay, when the status is closed, right? So let's say, you know, the property went, congratulations, you did that, you sold, you know, you gave them the closing gift, you talked to them, etc. And let's say, okay, now I changed the status in there, I updated them in my CRM to closed, right? And this can, let's say this one's for sellers, okay? Or no, or for buyers, you know, buyer or seller, doesn't really matter. Campaign name. So let's say this is staying in touch after sale, right? Campaign description, email campaign to stay in touch after the buyer purchases a home and it closed, right? Something like that. Anything you want to type, you can put in there. Again, we get an overview of what it's for. We click finish. And now I got to remember what we named it. Looking for user. Staying in touch after sale. So I can see, and you can see this is sorted alphabetically. So remember what you named it, and then you can find it. So we'll click here, and you can see it has campaigns logic because we set it up, but the actions are blank. There's nothing going on here. And you know, okay, we designed this to say status is closed. Let's add an action, okay? You got the button over here, add an action. Yeah, we're gonna do, let's do an email for the first one. You know, assuming we call them, we spoke to them on the phone the day of closing. Congratulations, this, anything you needed, this and that, etc. So we're gonna say, okay, this is, this will be an email, right? That goes out, and let's say it's the day we switch them onto closed. So we can say, or we'll just say it's a closing day email, right? Sorry, I meant to put that up here. So the template, we're naming the template of the action we're doing. And let's say the subject. Okay. Congratulations on your sale. And then the action, so what is this going to be? This is the closed first email. Okay, again, this stuff's internal. They're not going to see that. They will see the subject of the email, yeah. They won't see the template name. They won't see the name of the action. This is, again, internal, and you'll see when we're done there. So who's it coming from? It's coming from me, the agent, and it knows it's going to the contact. Okay. Let's run this one, you know, an hour. So an hour after I update them in my system to closed, we'll say, hey, send them this email. And okay, let's say Hi, and I'm gonna pull out something new you haven't seen yet. Oh, I should probably spell it right, though. My first name. Congrats again on the purchase of your new home. I hope you and your family make some memories in the years to come. You'll spell check. Regards. Okay. I don't have to put my name, etc., because in our profile, we set it up to say every single outgoing piece of email has this signature attached to it. Okay, so just put the regards, and then just it'll put in your info, your link, all that stuff there because you set it up in your profile. Okay. Now, what did I pop here? Hi, squiggly bracket, first underscore name, end squiggly bracket. Okay. These are called merge tags. All right. And again, remember what we named that action? We named it closed first email. Right? You can see that here, closed first email. That's the action that we named. It's going to happen an hour after we change. It's an email. It's going from us to them. Now, the squiggly bracket, what that'll do, this makes it so you can always address somebody by their name, their first name, their full name, etc. But you don't have to change it. I don't have to put, hey, Nafis, or hey, Raj, or hey, Todd. I just say, hey, squiggly bracket, first underscore name, squiggly. I'm sure there's a name for that. I don't know what it is. But the system will now say, oh, that's a command. That's a tag. It'll check who the person it's assigned to. It'll say the contact in my system is Raj. So in that bracket, it's not going to be in a bracket. It'll just come up and it'll say, hi, Raj, or hi, Todd, or hi, Renee.
But if you want two names, like, if it's, a couple, so you want to,
Good question. I don't know what the spouse one is, but under a contact, you can put spousal info, right? So, and I'm going to show you a list of where to get these, right? Again, if you go to it's help.kvcore.com. Okay. This is that, I think I referenced this one in the last session. But this is anything in this entire system you need to know, you can find it here. They have documented the entirety of this whole platform on here. And I said these are called merge tags. Okay? These squiggly bracket things where it automatically will put somebody's name in. I'm up! So we can see here, I search merge tag. Okay, merge tags overview. Great. And you can see, okay, they got lists here. Right? First name, last name, full name, email. And obviously that says what it'll do. And again, agent name, you have them for yours as well. Right? Now I'm looking really briefly here. I don't see one for spouse name here. I'm sure there's one created. I would have to test with that. So what I would do is I'd put spousal information in somebody, or even just use the chat and ask them, hey, what's the merge tag for spousal name? If there's anything you can't find, we have the text box here, right? And our kvCORE, our support is through REMAX. Okay, so we will get quicker response. We're not using, and they work directly with Inside Real Estate, their support, but we get priority. We get our own support for this system, which is nice. So anything you can't find in there, you can put that there, right? So I imagine there might be one, okay, maybe this is probably not a full complete list. These are just probably the quick ones you can think of, you can put in, right? But these are the things that will automatically fill in the information.
So the website is help.kvcore.com?
Help.kvcore.com. Good one to remember. But, so you can see, okay, we did that there, and then we had saved the changes. No worries. Oh, you're okay. We're pretty much wrapping up at this point anyways, so you're not going to miss too much. Take a muffin.
Recording these because I watched these.
Yeah.
My own.
Actually,
Everybody's going to see you take a muffin now, though. See you guys. So, you know, we can see we added the action there. You know, again, if you want to go through, maybe we want to add a text message, right? And maybe this one, okay, very similar to adding an email, but there's no subject, okay? So let's say this is closed first text, okay? This is the first text we're sending as they're closed. And now, maybe this one, top of my head, maybe this one will run, you know, 2 weeks after, okay? So we'll do 14 days after we change them to close. And this one could simply be, hey, first name. Hope you are enjoying the new house. Just wanted to let you know, and I'm going to pull a Buffini line here, that I am never too busy for your referrals. Hope everything is well. Right? And we can save that. Oh, sorry, we got to name it. Asking for a referral. Okay, it's from us, it's to them. So we're going to ask for a referral 2 weeks after it closes, okay? And again, this is me pulling stuff off the top of my head. You can change any of this stuff as you want. We click save. Now we can see it here. Day 14, text SMS asking for a referral, right? And it'll fill in their name. And we don't have to put at the end a sign out or anything because again, in our profile, we have it set here. Show entity in SMS signature. It'll say it's coming from you. Okay? But that's pretty much the gist of it here. So I could go through and add a bunch of actions, but you get the idea. Okay? The different actions you can have, you know, you get status, you know, a task. A task is something you got to do. The system's going to say, hey, you got to do this. Maybe put in a task or a call. And again, the call will say, hey, call them, you know, 30 days after, you know, call them, just talk to them, see how things are going with the new house. If they need anything, maybe they need a referral for a painter or whatever, etc. So those are the different actions you can add there. But that's pretty much the overview going into all the detail with the smart campaigns, okay? That's how you set them up. That's how you can edit them. We went over the logic, how it works, why it works. The big thing with the hashtags too. Hashtags can be automation, but you can also do automation off the status. Like we said here, when the status is changed in the contact from active to closed. You know, that you can have the system say, oh, this person's closed and they're a buyer or a seller. So we're gonna put them on this, okay? Different things you can use, how you can use them. You can edit them as you like, but this is your way to automatically stay in touch with people, okay? And these are the ways you can have it. And then another good thing for this too is I'm just thinking, if you're thinking, well, I don't know all these things to say, what do I say? There's a lot of different things we can use, people, videos, online stuff you can do. Another great thing you could probably use too is ChatGPT, right? If you want a base idea, say, hey, give me a year-long drip campaign of how to stay in touch with client after their house closed from the perspective of a realtor. Yeah. Different things you can do, and I had looked up one too, I think, before. Something simple. Hey, I said, give me emails I could send when the seasons change. Right? I straight up copied and pasted this. I changed the tags for kvCORE if I was copy and paste later, but right? Here to provide you with expert guidance and support every step of the way. But it's basically sending you an email, hey, embrace renewal or spring, soaking up the sun, falling for change. But it's always saying, I'm here to provide you with support and guidance, So we don't always have to think up everything, right? Because a lot of this stuff is super generic. It doesn't really matter what we're saying. It's just we want to stay in front of them. That's the whole point of why we have CRMs. It helps us stay in front of people because we can't do it all on our own. It's too much to remember. If you have hundreds of contacts, you physically can't do it. Okay? You need the help of a system to help you do that. And those are just other ideas there. But as for the smart campaigns, that's pretty much the complete overview there. You know how to use them, you know how to activate them, you know how to deactivate the ones you don't like. You hit the toggle switch. The logic, the merge tags, the actions, etc. And again, anything else you don't know, you can use that help.kvcore.com. They have the entire place articled here. You can search anything you need. You also have the option of getting direct support right from there, okay? Right from the website. We have our own REMAX support for it. And obviously you could bug me whenever you want. But I'll probably ask you if you looked it up on your own first. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I wanted to go over today. Maybe took a little longer than I wanted to, but it's good to go in depth about this stuff so you know about it.